That is 100% before my time. Holy crap, straight out of the 50s for crying out loud. Like, vintage television. But I'm kind of, for some strange reason, becoming attached to that kind of silly, like, swing era or, you know, post-war era opener type music or something like that. I'm gonna find a use for that song somewhere because I don't see very much of that on the YouTube audio library. What is up, everybody? This is Jay, aka MultimediaJay, and I just clicked the wrong thing and opened Steam. What? So, don't need to be playing any games, and I certainly don't need Steam downloading updates for any games I'm trying to stream, so let's close that right now. So that song is actually from the YouTube audio library. It's by Aaron Kenny. Very, very vintage television. It's called Gaiety in the Golden Age. And, well, let's just say I couldn't listen to that song without thinking of doing something like this. We gotta make that a little louder, though. It's just way too much of a difference. And it's a softer song as well, so let's actually bring it up to like 25%. Is that? Let's see if that works. Live from Jay's Geek House, it's the wacky world of MultimediaJay, the land of goofball experiments with technology from some AV geek nerd with multimedia nerd with too much free time on his hands. Somewhere in the woods of Connecticut. And now the man of the hour, it's MultimediaJay. Be sure to check out Jay's social medias, youtube.com/multimediajay, twitter.com/multimediajay, twitch.tv/multimediajay, multimediajay.wordpress.com, MultimediaJay TV on Instagram, and MultimediaJay on Imager for more wonderful content. I knew it. I just can't keep a straight face with that darn song. I gotta script something in order to make use of that. Whatever, man. All right. Well, hey, you know what? Let's put it back down to 7% or 10% or something like that, and play some music here. So, Aaron Kenny is actually a contributor to the YouTube audio library. He's yet another one of those contributors to the White Owl, who actually has a link to his YouTube channel if you go looking for videos and stuff. Let me open up YouTube Studio in Firefox and put that on screen. I don't know, you know, there's something kind of cool about that. Unlike last night, where did the thing with the tearing up the calendar for 2020. It is 2021. Let's have some fun. So if I go to let me just load up the audio library here and look for Aaron Kenny. Aaron Kenny, yep, there we go. And so, there's a lot of cinematic stuff. Put Firefox on the screen. There we go. So, there's a lot of cinematic stuff. He does a lot of cinematic stuff like this, so, and this is one of them. We can put this up to 10%. Without it being too loud. So, the thing is, he's one of those creators who has a link from the White Owl. So I went over and I subbed to him. Aaron Kenny, composer. Here's a bunch of songs that he has here, and they all have cute little graphics to them. Available for use on the YouTube audio library. What I find interesting about his music is that I've listened to some of this, and it sounds pretty cinematic. It's the sort of stuff where I hear the tunes, and I want to make something with it. That doesn't happen very often. There's been some overclocked remixes that have made me want to do that sort of thing. But, I don't know, there's just something about this vintage sounding stuff that sounds like I could have a blast with it. Maybe in some kind of comedic sense or something like that. But yeah, Aaron Kenny, ladies and gentlemen. So, there's other White Owl artists that have a genre to what it is that they do, like Slink does electronic stuff, drum and bass, what have you. DJ Williams does rhythm and blues, very soulful type stuff, but Aaron Kenny apparently just wants to make soundtracks and soundtrack material to put on the White Owl. The big issue that I have with his stuff is that his songs are often a little too short, so it's the sort of thing where you want to use them for dramatic effect, but they're not going to be useful for very large dramatic effects or things like that. Okay, looks like I made someone mad because I pulled the stream replay of the 2020 thing and replaced it with the spin-off video, so now 2020 can go bleep itself with a rusty iron harpoon is down to 5 views and 2 likes because I got rid of the stream replay. So I did another one of those experiments with monetization. Now there's a very specific reason. There's a very specific reason why I did that experiment. First off, the whole thing with the New Year's celebration stuff, not very important in the grand scheme of things. I'm sure a lot of people probably can't wait to forget about 2020 at this point. So I don't imagine that anything that has anything to do with 2020 is going to have any kind of staying power in the public psyche whatsoever. Cold ones at the ready. Should probably felt bottom this thing before I break the insulation on it. Been saying that for how long now? But anyways, so I mean the main thing that I'm working on right now is the finale to the Wacky World of MultimediaJay for Geek House Dark Mode, and then we have to go under the hood of this channel and the Twitch channel and take care of some very serious administrative issues that are specific to 2021. 2021 is my 15th year on YouTube. So we're celebrating 15 years this year, and I don't want it to be as annoying as when I was celebrating 10 years and I had the gigantic intro because of the song that I picked and the way it was structured. So in order to have the same number of measures, you're looking at like a 30 to 35 second intro, I think. Let me actually see. Let me see if I can search my own stuff for 2016 intro. Let me just look for intro then. Intro. The Monolith Dilemma. How about opener? That's probably a better search term in order to use the metadata to find it. I'm looking, because I actually, future, here it is. 36 seconds. Holy crap. 36 seconds. Load that up in the editor and go to React mode. So here is it's a little bit off center. It's a little bit off center, I guess. Let's see here. Let's modify this so it'll play correctly. I don't know why I have to keep modifying this. I thought I had the dimensions down and whatnot, but basically just pull the edges out and make the white space disappear. Yeah, there we go. And this is based on the YouTube Cloud Editor. So we'll just do this. This is what I really don't want to do again. This is really what it was the worst element of the show flow in 2016. As much as there was a lot of interesting stuff that I did, like tinkering with speakers and stuff, this is just not how you start literally every single video in your main series.
The Wacky World of MultimediaJay.
Probably can keep the graphics if I really wanted to, but yeah, 10 years, 2006 to 2016, so that was the longest intro I ever had. Now, going back to television format for the Wacky World of MultimediaJay, probably, yeah, we want to have something a lot quicker, and the lesson learned from 2015 to 2016 is that the song and its pacing and the way the song is structured matters. So, I don't know if I want to use this theme, this vintage TV theme or something like that, but it's definitely something where I gotta find something that I really like, something that's good enough to be a main song for everything, that's for openers for things, and it can't be too long. If I actually bring that back up, go back to YouTube Studio, the 2015 one was the shortest. It used March On by Ethan Meixel. So let's go to content yet again, and let's check openers. Future Year was only 20 seconds. Season 1 was 26 seconds. Season 2 was 20 seconds. By 2016, it was up to 36 seconds, way too long. It was just the way that the song was set up way back when. That the Ethan Meixel song was just a lot quicker and things like that. So we'll do things that way. And we'll see if we can set a target of like 20 seconds or so. Because what I have in mind is an opener that can be inserted. So it doesn't have to be at the beginning of every single video. Because when you get going, you want to basically introduce everybody to what's going on in those critical first X amount of seconds of the video. And then go into whatever intro sequence you want to have. But intros, this isn't the television days of the 80s anymore. Or anything from the days before the VCR. So it's not like people are running to get in front of the TV or anything, which is kind of sort of what Start Soon screens do nowadays, but YouTube has a technology where I don't really need to worry about them. But here's the situation. With this whole thing with the technology, or with this whole thing with the intros, the show flow is pretty big, because the format that I'm coming from, where I just buzz over to a title screen, it's very good with that sort of thing. You know what's going on. You know what series it is. You get straight into it. I'm just concerned that going back to something more television-like or cinematic-like could possibly be some kind of step backwards. So we'll have to take a look at that. Now let's talk about what I made someone mad with, and now they've unsubscribed. So I took the stream replay down, and I'm basically replacing it with spin-off videos. So this whole situation with the New Year's thing, this was an experiment to see if YouTube's gotten any better with the problems that exist with streaming, in the sense that the uploads on YouTube get far better systems than the streams do. Streaming is the newer feature. So what you run into, and I can look at it right now, I'll bet any money this stream has already been demonetized. It already. Yep. And what have I been talking about? Very happy milquetoast type stuff. And this stream has already been demonetized. Because it's like 2017 all over again. You breathe wrong and you get demonetized. Yeah. It's like the tiniest little thing and you don't know what it is. And if you ask for a review or something, maybe YouTube can give you an answer, maybe they can't. Firefox. Here it is. Boom. Already yellow check mark. And notice the favoritism. Notice this favoritism that exists for the gaming streams, which is the main way in which these platforms are competing with each other. Look, I don't know if it's because YouTube is so much bigger. I don't know if it's because YouTube is so much bigger than Twitch and Facebook. So that if these platforms were ever squared off against each other, numbers versus numbers, YouTube is the biggest streaming platform because it's the biggest video platform, period. Gets the most hits, has the most content, and there's so much more streaming besides game streaming. The only real show or situation where the platforms are squaring off against each other is with gaming. There's some things that Twitch does, like bounties, drops, and other stuff that are unique to Twitch. Facebook has the music license for playing games with licensed soundtracks and stuff for copyrighted music. That's unique to Facebook. And YouTube has Content ID and other stuff as well. So there's some things that is unique to YouTube as well that bring various ups and downs to streaming video games on YouTube, just like it does everywhere else. Now, the only real... if it was all about, what's the biggest platform in terms of streaming, YouTube would win that hands down, because there's tons of non-gaming content showing up, and YouTubers are encouraged to try some live streaming. This just chatting style stuff that I'm doing right now is something that a lot of creators do. Many times it's a supplemental thing to the videos that they're making. They might go live and talk to their audience. In my case, this replaces vlogging. So I'm basically going to, make announcements, talk about how things are going, and work on stuff. That's the important part. And so all this behind the scenes type stuff with what's going on with this channel, that is the concentrated coolness of the live streaming that I'm doing if I'm not playing video games. I don't know if I ever want to IRL stream. I think I would rather produce YouTube videos for nearly everything that I do than actually, the only thing really is just updates. Stuff that's more time sensitive is better off streamed. So, but this favoritism for game streaming is probably because game streaming, half of these probably don't even have like end screens. I gotta go put some end screens in some of these because half of them, streams take forever to finish processing. These are all World of Warcraft streams, and of course you got this too. This monetized for some strange reason, as did this. But I think it was a situation where I let it finish processing, then I shut off the monetization, then redeclared it and turned it on. So if you ever screw that up and get demonetized, the system remembers and you get a yellow dollar sign for this. But fundamentally, anything that has anything to do with editing, like the cloud editor and stuff like that, is slow as molasses on streams versus doing anything with videos. Spin-off videos are that much faster. The spin-off video that replaced the last stream that I did was monetized yesterday, minutes after it was generated. And I declared in the self-declaration setup for monetization the exact same stuff. A little bit of vulgar language, a little bit of violence from me tearing that calendar up, and a little bit of talk about sensitive issues. The video got monetized, the stream took forever to process, and then wasn't. Now, why does that matter? I mean, why am I chasing after pennies? Because that's what YouTube ad revenue is. I'm chasing after this because YouTube has consistently shown throughout the last couple of years that monetization is directly linked to the position in the algorithm. Your video's ability to go and be seen, because the systems actually pass them around, is directly related to the monetization status. There are videos that get demonetized that tank in terms of their visibility, and there are streams that get demonetized that tank, like this one, that tank in terms of who watches them. So, and then of course there's after the fact as well. But to have somebody unsubscribe because I'm a nerd who experiments with this stuff is completely uncalled for. This is someone who made a very bad decision because they're making a really bad assumption about me if they think that, oh, he just did it because he can monetize the video, but he can't monetize the stream. Money-hungry, entitled crybaby, content creator thinks he's better than everyone else. Who is he? He's a fat guy wearing sunglasses who sits in front of his webcam in his blue Walmart smart light cheap house rental and talks about stuff with barely any production value. When I sub for tech videos, who does he think he is? It's probably the criticism that's floating around out there. The truth of the matter is that I'm a nerd. I experiment with stuff. And, blah blah New Year's party on a forgettable year was exactly the sort of thing where I'd want to experiment to see if YouTube's made any progress on this thing, and clearly they haven't. We will not revisit this issue again until 2022. So, for the folks that talk in chat, we'll address chat as it happens, but the chat will not be in the stream it will not be in the spin-off videos, because it's just part of YouTube streaming being an expansion feature versus videos. Videos are the bread and butter of YouTube. Videos get the better treatment. And what we have here is a situation where I literally had the exact same content with the exact same manual declarations of stuff that might not be ad friendly. And the stream replay was demonetized and took forever to do anything edit-wise. But the spin-off video wasn't demonetized. And edits are just like that. And another unique thing that you can do with spin-off videos is you can just keep generating new ones and deleting old ones until it's right. So you stream, pull the stream down, put it at private or get rid of it, make a spin-off video with your first round of edits. If you want to make more edits, make another spin-off video and just keep on doing it. We're not talking VCRs and analog technology here with the generational losses. So the processing goes through, in many cases, you have the spin-off video being 100% processed before the stream gets processed. And the stream has a head start. It's crazy. It's a major technological hiccup, and when YouTube is usually the platform with the best technology. They're working on the machine learning. They're working on the AI. They're working on all this other stuff. And yet, streaming on YouTube has this unique issue. Not hard to fix, though, because you just make a spin-off video and work with that from there on out, and it's treated like the rest of your uploads, including the ad-friendliness system. Now, I can imagine YouTube making an ad-friendliness system that is more aggressive for streams, because you're talking about live streaming here. You can't you can't scan the content beforehand. It's happening live. So I can imagine they'd make it more paranoid, but I can also imagine the system being more primitive just because it's newer. When demonetization first launched, people who had any kind of like PG-13 R-rated content were having a lot of problems. The adpocalypse and the demonetization system was enough to annoy some people that many of them changed platforms and became Twitch streamers. A lot of the big Twitch streamers nowadays have YouTube backgrounds prior to streaming on Twitch for the first time. And the adpocalypse is often the sort of thing that lines up with when you see all these streamers on their Sully gnomes taking off in 2017, 2018. And they had and I'll tell you, every single one of these people that came over from YouTube, if they kept their YouTube presence while YouTube was working on algorithms to pass more content to more people, they retained an edge over the people that were Twitch grinding. It's one of the main reasons why they did. Asmongold is the biggest success story. This is a guy that streamed on Twitch, and people kept making YouTube videos of his stream highlights for him. Essentially a crowdsourced highlights channels between, and those people now became editors for Asmongold TV. We decided to rein all that in and centralize everything. But it doesn't mean that people can't make Asmongold highlights anymore. It's just that he doesn't want to have situations where someone else uploads a highlight before he does. So I think it's a 24-hour thing that he says, yeah, give it 24 hours and then it's free reign. So if we're going to make a video about it, we'll make it first, and then you can do whatever you want with it afterwards and release it. So it's kind of an interesting approach, but it's something that a lot of creators should think about, is that the more stuff about you is going around in the algorithm starts connecting dots. Even little stuff. Like, long time ago, in the early days of this, I actually talked in another YouTube video on some other channels, like Ada Continues, when I showed up in the podcast replays that came to YouTube. And eventually the recommended started bouncing people over to my channel because of my involvement in Ada Continues. I imagine if I was a regular enough on Alfred's show as one of his call-in guests, there's a scheduling conflict that keeps me from calling into his show more often, with me being a night shift guy and him doing stuff largely on Thursdays. If he ever did a Friday night thing on a regular basis, I'd get involved a little more if I wasn't doing something myself. So, but I imagine with enough stuff in Alfred's videos, the algorithm will start linking some of what I do with some of what he does automatically, simply because of the voice and everything. I haven't yet had it happen with the quirky pixel experiment yet. Let me just go check that. Head over to my own channel here and search for quirky pixel. So quirky pixel, not yet. No, it still hasn't happened. So maybe I went a little overboard and the algorithms aren't that crazy yet, but I have seen some pretty bizarre algorithm stuff due to visual or auditory similarities. So I have seen before, for example, if I show up in someone else's YouTube video, there's links between that video and stuff on my channel. There's actually a couple of people that have discovered my channel through the algorithm that way, and they had a hard time believing it was me because they had no idea that outside of my day job background, I have this kind of, AV Geek presentation stuff that I've had going since college, actually. I have the fine folks in charge of the audio-visual office in college who got me into this kind of stuff. And eventually, I wound up listening to people that told me to go give the radio station a try and all kinds of other stuff. Yeah, this goes all the way back to college. It predates any professional stuff that I've done since graduation, by years, pretty much. You're talking, went on campus, wanted an on-campus job because I was eligible for one, and I didn't want something boring like the print booth in the computer center. Ugh, moving paper 3 feet from minimum wage. Woo! So AV was something that I was like, well, let's try this out, and I eventually grew to like it. Even though I wasn't IT, I was starting biased more towards the flashier side of technology. And so everything I've done since then, these past 15 years on YouTube, is precisely that. So there's an element of I'm having fun doing this stuff recreationally. The monetization that I do and I've been doing since 2016 is casual. I'm largely interested just in that element of it as well. But the fun part is the fun money from monetization as a small channel is completely passive. So the more content that I make, the more stuff that people can binge watch or binge listen to, etc. And then that ad revenue can fund tech upgrades and other stuff, which can be used to make more content, etc., etc. It's a very basic lesson for anybody getting into business. When you first start making money, you don't go on a shopping spree. You reinvest it. Because if you don't, your similarly sized competitors are going to reinvest, and they're going to get better than you. Just the way it is. Now, granted, there's already a ton of competition out there, and I'm just a bump on a log, because I never really took any kind of growth seriously on YouTube until 2020. Last year, technically. So everybody of the thousands of people who have subbed to me over the years, I now refer to that as an evergreen, the evergreen metric that it is. Because I know when I was complaining about the difference between subscribers and views many, many years, I never thought of it as an evergreen thing, kind of like a channel score. That without bugging people to subscribe and ring the bell every single video, I've gotten thousands of people to like what I did enough to sub to my channel. That's pretty awesome. So, been doing this and got into the thousands without even trying. That's the kind of environment. That's the kind of success that I've had, is that, you know, I found a way to make this work without having to bug the living daylights out of people for it. So, anyways, how did we even get to this discussion anyways? Well, it began with a discussion about spin-off videos, but yes, so streams will turn into spin-off videos without exception until at least 2022. Except for the game streams, which of course there's favoritism involved there. Still have no idea why. I think it is because that's where the competition is with streaming. If it wasn't for game streaming, YouTube would smoke everybody and there wouldn't really be any competition. The only real, you know, it's that thing in business: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. The biggest source of threats on the streaming front is game streaming, where YouTube is battling it out versus Twitch and Facebook. But that doesn't mean that YouTube isn't a gigantic streaming platform because of the non-gaming stream that's going on as well. It's just that in terms of, you know, things like esports, the brand deals, the lucrative type stuff with the money that's involved in professional gaming and stuff like that, gaming is probably where the competition should be the fiercest. Because if you have, for example, people doing non-gaming streams like cooking or doing stuff out in the woods or farming or something like that, like running a farm. I mean, not like farming in a video game, but, you know, doing all of this regular non-gaming stuff. There's not really an apples and apples comparison, because over on Twitch, everything's segmented a lot more. You have just chatting, which is overused, and people don't realize that the just chatting category is limited because of people overusing it. If you can get more specific, it's actually better to use categories like travel and places, talk shows and podcasts, music, art, etc. It's better to use the more specific stuff, especially if you're a smaller creator. Just chatting is kind of the booyah zone for all the big streamers, because they know they're always going to be close to the top with their thousands of concurrents. So the booyah streamers will be like, ha ha ha, and they won't even care, because they don't need to care, that just chatting is a very limited category. You can't even sort it low to high. So you'll get all these people, and if they've attained any kind of success on Twitch, they'll just be like, they won't care. They'll just be like, whatever. And then, of course, there'll be all the wannabes that'll be in just chatting because everyone else is in it. Big category, I think I can grow by doing this. And they never will, because they're deluding themselves. They haven't taken the time to look at how just chatting works and how it is limited compared to more specific categories. As Twitch has to solve its problem there, where just chatting is basically YouTube all over again. Not like YouTube doesn't have categories either. People and blogs, entertainment, gaming, science and technology, how-to and style. But it's more of a light touch type thing. It's kind of more of the general theme. It's not like, I don't think you can even browse by specific category anymore. That used to be the case in the early days of YouTube. But if I actually go to YouTube, let me mute the tab here in case something starts auto-playing here. If I actually mute YouTube, or if I actually go to YouTube and try to browse, home, trending, and subscriptions, more from YouTube, fashion and beauty, learning. What's YouTube learning? Yeah, so I can go to trending. Can I even access the categories? Music, gaming, news, movies, and fashion and beauty are the only categories I have access to. And I've got Jennifer Lopez doing some New Year's Eve thing for this. The London's 2021 fireworks are trending from the BBC's channel. I can't actually get at the categories for like people and blogs, science and technology, etc. And if I actually go to YouTube Studio and get away from the potential copyright issues of whatever people have in their thumbnails, if I actually go to the YouTube Studio and look at and actually go edit something like the spin-off video that I just created, where can I get to the categories here? Get this on screen. Where is missing something here? Playlists, select, people and blogs. There it is. Add your video to a category so users can find it more easily. Interesting. Let me actually go to upload something. Oh, you actually have to select something. Let's see here. I might get flagged for a duplicate upload, though, if I upload anything I've already uploaded before. Let me just go re-upload this VOD, so to speak. Haha. The stream replay that I was working on. This one, lol, it has a different title. And we'll just cancel the upload. So, audience, more options. There's different stuff here. Category. Oh no, add a video to your category so that viewers can find it more easily. There isn't like a mouse over thing like there is with tags. It says that it's not really... Yeah, let's cancel the upload. There is nothing on here that really says that it's like with the tags. It says that it's minimally useful in helping people find your videos. So, very interesting. So, anyways, that's where we stand on all of that stuff. 2020, da-da-da-da. So, yes, replace it with a spin-off video because there's really no point. The systems on YouTube for streams are just not as developed. So, in terms of the links between monetization and reach, it is far better, and as well as the general faster speed of the cloud editor, as well as YouTube streams take longer to get going than Twitch streams do. So it's often a good idea to have some kind of like a test pattern, so to speak, going. Kind of like, if you ever tune into a channel and there's nothing broadcasting, you see, like, for example, WFSB in my neck of the woods in Connecticut has a giant 3 logo if nothing's broadcasting. Usually it's on their stream page for like livestream.com or whatever they're running it on these days. You want something like that to verify that you've gone live before you actually hit start. So, and a couple of people do that anyways. So you're not cutting straight into your opening screen. So you want to do that sort of thing. And so, because of that, you're going to have, with YouTube, depending on the latency setting that you select, depending on what you select on YouTube for your latency, you might have like 15 to 20 seconds of just that screen. So, what's one of the rules about YouTube? The first 15 to 20 seconds are basically the intro of the video. So someone watching after the fact is going to want to see something going on the screen sometime in 15 to 20 seconds, not a static graphic that is you testing your connection, making sure that you're live before you actually start your intro. So that's the thing. So you always want to make a spin-off video at the very least to shave that down to like 2 or 3 seconds. And then any future spin-offs, like edits for highlights or something like that, can have that card and then fade to whatever it is and then actually catch part of your end screen at the end. Because the split function in the cloud editors on both YouTube and Twitch allow you to make something like that, but YouTube's, of course, is more precise. Twitch has a 5-second minimum for every segment, so it's not quite as well refined as YouTube's is. But in a sense, though, it's just better to make spin-off videos. YouTube was originally for videos, and videos represent the most mature technology and management, so to speak, versus streams. Streams are easily a couple of years behind in everything. Let me actually see if I can refresh my memory here with my regular browser. YouTube video editor, too slow, 2017. There was something wrong with the... Let's see here. Not the most powerful editor you'll ever use. Da, 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 da. Yeah, there was another editor that was removed in 2017. There's a cloud editor that exists today that's more tied in with YouTube Studio. There used to be complaints about that editor. I don't know if it was too slow back then or whatnot, but I can tell you the demonetization system was a lot more paranoid in 2007 than it is in 2017 than it is today. So it's wild. I was joking about turning off the monetization because of the swearing and tearing up the calendar and everything, but actually, not violence, vulgar language is actually something that matters mostly in the very beginning of the video and what kind of slurs what kind of swear words you're using. If you're using a swear word that doubles as a slur, that's not safe for ads. Think like bundle of sticks or the N-word or something like that. But I'm surprised I was going over these categories, and even F-bombs can be safe for ads if they're not too early in the video. Which, of course, is one of the reasons why James Rolfe changed You Know What's BS to You Know What's BS. Some would say he's a Penn and Teller ripoff because the Walmart family-friendly censored versions of the bullshit show were called Penn and Teller's BS. There you go. See, that should not be reason for the spin-off video to get demonetized, because we are 38 minutes into this thing. So I don't know if it's a situation where, let's suppose people want to make like some really dark drama with maybe, like they watch too much Law and Order, and they want to have some kind of dark drama, like they watch too much Law and Order, they want to film something with their buddies and do that kind of stuff with swearing, violence, obviously acted out stuff. It's obviously entertainment, like R-rated entertainment and stuff like that. I wonder if they might make a long intro to get past that requirement that the profanity not be too early in the video. Actually, let me see if YouTube's ad-friendly guidelines... Ad-friendly guidelines, are they listed? So yeah, there's got to be a support article for this. Inappropriate language. So, inappropriate language, limited or no ads. Strong profanity in the title or thumbnail image, including misspellings intending to censor profanity. So, if you spell BS with a 1 instead of an I, that actually is something. Strong profanity, like the F word, used during the beginning part of the video. So that's the sort of thing where, yeah, okay, rate your content with self-certification. I wish there was a way we could actually do some kind of dummy version of this. Actually, no, let's put this on screen. Link this up. This is a really interesting YouTube help article here. So we could probably put it in debate mode if we really want to. You know what we should do? We should set up article mode so that I'm on one side and the newspaper's on. It's like reading a newspaper. Let's do that. Here's debate mode. Here's debate mode. Let's do this and set it up like article. No, let's base it on React mode. So React mode's pretty broken right now. Let's duplicate this and let's turn this into article mode. To put some to not just put myself over the web browser directly. So you have Mozilla. Oh, it's based on Mozilla Firefox. Ha 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 ha. Okay. Well, let's take this URL and let's just change browsers then. So that's probably a bit of live control room that's showing up there. There we go. Load up. Rate your content with self-certification. And let's make this into something here. So Firefox, that's this itty bitty thing. So I got shrunk down. What the? Why is this? Well, no. We said we wanted to mess around with stuff. Now, here we are. Mozilla Firefox, how about we just remove it and put it back in? Actually, no. Let's hit the gear button. Yeah, it's picking up live control room. Completely wrong. Oh, now it's too big. Yeah, uh-huh. That's because this is based on debate. This is based on React mode or debate. No. Well, we're just varying white out the screen, things like that. How can I shrink this down? Can I? No. Okay, this is beyond ridiculous. This is way too big. All right, preview scaling. Canvas 1920 by 1080. Ooh, we just milked out the screen again. Oh, no. That's the preview. That's the preview for that. I want to do for this thing. Scale filtering? No. Let's do properties. Oh, I can't even hit default. No, it's too big. I totally ruined this. Okay, remove Firefox completely. Totally remove it from the scene. Hello, welcome back. Now, let's add in another browser here. And let's add Mozilla Firefox back in. Oh, the name is already in use. No, so let's use a Windows source. Browser source for things like videos and stuff like that. Window capture. Add existing Mozilla Firefox. Okay, that's better. Now I want to shrink this down. I actually want to shrink this down a little. So article mode will be like reading a newspaper. We'll just do this. And then we can make the article bigger, and we can read it this way. Yeah, so do something like this, and let's make it bigger. There we go, and let's also put the old mugshot in here. And it's just a thing to make things look more thematic with the blue gradients and stuff that I like to do quite a bit. Let's test this out. Yeah, experimental stuff. Yeah, let's test this out. Hey, we can get some music going too while we're at it, since we kind of moved into Hangout territory here. Start with that one again. Why not? Now, actually, let's put the music. We can place the music somewhere as well, so it's a little more appropriate. So this is from the Aaron Kenny. Now, let's see. We can do this here. We can actually make the credit for the music a lot bigger so that people know what YTAL artist this was. That's more like it. Rate your content with self-certification, etc. So basically, you can turn on ads, etc., things like that. Let's see how this looks. Yeah, here we go. So for inappropriate language, is that lining up? No, it isn't. It doesn't line up perfectly. It doesn't totally line up perfectly with the top of the thing here. So, yeah, maybe this wasn't such a good idea. Let's bring it up a notch. So I got to put it in the center like this, and watch the preview there. So I can't even read it all. All right, so let's actually center this to right under here. Yeah, let's actually center this to right under here. All right, let's make this better. Make gratuitous use of the art of the key here and stop it right there, and then bring it up to here, etc. There we go. Now we'll base it on the top of the browser window. So, frequent use of strong profanity, and what that refers to is you turn on ads like hell or damn, etc. Infrequent use of strong profanity like the F word after the opening, or strong profanity in a music video. Thumbnails that use censored profanity as well, etc. like bleeps, mutes, covering written words and symbols, text, or stuff added in post. The opening of a video refers to the beginning of a video, approximately the first 30 seconds. So basically what you do is you open your video like, oh, this is the Christmas one. That's nice. So you open your video with a big long, think like the opening to Law and Order. And it's like there's all this other stuff as it goes through that instrumental. Something like that would probably work for something like this. Strong profanity refers to words like F word, derivations, and any equivalents. I should look up how to say that. Long night, man. Sunrise approaches. Strong profanity in the title, thumbnail, or opening of video, 30 seconds. Strong profanity in the title, and if you use it frequently throughout the video. So that's another element of it too. So if you're dropping F-bombs throughout the video, then maybe the system... And then turning off ads would be for extreme profanity, any swear word that doubles as some kind of slur against a protected characteristic. So the C word would be against women, the N word is against African Americans, people with darker skin tones, and the bundle of sticks word is against gay people. So, and then of course, so this is kind of the dry run, so to speak. Yeah, this is the dry run, so to speak, with regards to what would get demonetized without having to upload a dummy video and just play with it yourself with the self-certification tool. So, I find it kind of interesting that YouTube is in this position with regards to ad friendliness and profanity and stuff like that. So, it's 2021, let's have some fun. Next video to work on, we'll start it before calling it a morning here, and then probably do it during the day tomorrow when everything's still noisy. Probably gonna be people out shoveling because we got a little bit of a wintry mix to clean up. If it doesn't get warm enough to just have rain wash it away, then we just worry about black ice and stuff like that. So, here's what's next. The finale of Geek House Dark Mode. What I learned from that experiment with the various lights and stuff that I'm fiddling with, including the new 5-volt lights. Those things are everywhere, man. Yeah, King Europe, I saw your comment earlier, by the way, about Penn and Teller. Yeah, so it's crazy, you know, all this 5-volt stuff. I'm trying to tell my dad about it, and this is, you know, I guess my stepmother still wants to turn off all the lights because she's so stuck in incandescent mode. So when they leave the house, they got to turn all the lights off. And he's like, "What, does a light only cost $10 a year nowadays?" I'm like, "Yep." Actually, that's something I should do for the Wacky World of MultimediaJay, is check out some of these things with LED lights with bulbs versus LED lights without bulbs. Check what the power is on that, because I know I accidentally bought a desk lamp that doesn't take bulbs. I was wondering why Walmart could sell desk lamps for only $7. It's a desk lamp with an LED disc lamp instead of an actual bulb socket. So it still hooks up to the AC, but it's a desk lamp. You know, I'm wondering what the power draw is on that thing, and whether or not the power supply might be just redundant. Then, of course, there's ring lights and other stuff that's been selling with all this podcasting stuff that's been selling in the stores lately. So, you have all this stuff that's running off a USB. What I'm trying to explain to him is that chargers are so cheap and ubiquitous these days that they're basically power boxes waiting to happen. So, just charge my phone with one of these little Walmart things. It's down to 87%, but theoretically, if it didn't switch off because it didn't, you know, think it was charging anything because it has a little bit of programming to it, I could theoretically plug a light into this and make it into a portable light that I carry around with me. I actually bring one of these with me when I use the Bluetooth speaker. Usually I just balance the Bluetooth speaker on it because it's flat. So get a whole bunch of extra battery life that way. Or bring something to charge it with, or this has to go dead before the battery actually starts draining in the Bluetooth speaker. So this kind of, you know, everything can be charged with all kinds of stuff. This sort of, all this stuff that's all over the place just makes you wonder how much more stuff is going to be running off of USB 5 volts in the very near future. How about USB-C with the increased current capacities to charge better and stuff like that versus regular USB, USB-A, blah, blah, blah. So, I'm trying to explain all this to my dad, too, that lighting has gotten to the point where bulbs are becoming optional. But I like the convenience of bulbs, and the fact that I can buy a light fixture that's made for bulbs and turn it all different colors with these smart bulbs and stuff. I think the light bulb is just something that it's so well established at this point, we might as well just keep it. It's standardized, inexpensive, and easy to work with, as opposed to LED light strips. You have to pretty much know where you want to run them before you can finish setting them up and things like that. And you have to experiment and stuff, and then have some double-sided tape in case you change your mind. And it's just the sort of thing where versus just put a lamp somewhere, I don't think it's ever going to beat that in terms of simplicity. So, yeah, Geek House Dark Mode. Now what we have to do is try and figure out where can we bring in the regular lighting for things like tech tinkering and stuff like that. And I think during the summer, with some of the stuff I did with the final Delosaurus video, that I probably figured it out by then. There's plenty of ways to get some white light in where we need it, and then keep the colors against the wall for everything else. The thing we got to figure out is light pollution. Too much light that isn't diffused enough and stuff like that will destroy any colors we want to project on the walls like this. So, something to figure out anyways. Either way, it is 2021. Let's have some fun. I have a ton of administrative stuff to do once I'm done with this video. So we'll still do some streaming here and there, but by and large, we need things like channel trailers and other stuff to, you know, put in the work to make this channel into something to be taken a bit more seriously than what it is right now. And some of the new assets that I'm running into, like for example, the music from Aaron Kenny, will definitely come in handy for that. So the only way to move forward with a lot of this media stuff is to put in the work. So that may mean less streaming, that may mean less other stuff. But that's what it'll be all about this year. Finding the balance between videos, streams, stuff from streams, and how to organize the channel. And all this while we're celebrating 15 years with YouTube. 15 years of recreational hobby stuff on here. So, and of course, dealing with people that'll troll me about that as well, because you've been on there 15 years, you made so little progress. That's by design. I have my reasons, and I'd like for people to respect them. Till next time, this is MultimediaJay signing off. Thanks for stopping by. It's 2021. Let's have some fun.